What's up, guys? Thanks again for coming back to my channel. I just finished recording this look for you all, and as I promised I would be doing my Q&A from forever ago. I posted on Instagram asking you guys for questions of things that you guys might want to know about me. I am a chatterbox, so you guys will see that now. Okay, so I'm just gonna start. The first question is, what made me move to Barcelona, and do I speak Spanish? I moved to Barcelona because about 2 years ago I quit my job at Mac and I came to travel a little bit through Europe. I was by myself, and one of my friends joined me for about 2 weeks between Christmas and New Year's, and we planned to come to Barcelona for New Year's. I met a dude like my second day here, and we fell in love. We're super gross and cute and all that jazz. So naturally, whenever you fall in love with somebody in another country, what are you gonna do? One of you has to move to the other place. So we kind of figured, for now, since I was in my, travel the world mode, wasn't ready to go back to the United States anyways. Not that I had like a home to go back to because I sold everything and like ripped myself out of the United States to come travel. We decided that I would come here to Spain. So I actually have been here legally with a visa since November of 2014, so last year. And I was here pretty much the whole year before that. 2013, I was here for 3 months, and then without a visa to stay in a European country as an American, you can stay for almost all European countries, you can stay for 3 months. So I stayed for 3 months, had to go back to the US for three months, came back to Spain again 3 months, went back to the US, and finally I have a student visa. So I'm actually here going to a language school and I'm studying Spanish and French. So sí, puedo hablar español. I can speak Spanish. Not perfectly, but almost. I mean, I can have a conversation about basically everything. I might say things incorrectly, pero puedo hablar. And like I said, I'm learning some French too, which is kind of cool. All right, next question. Have I always been great at makeup, or did I struggle at first? I think everyone struggles at first. I had no experience at all when I got hired working for Mac, which I think I just got lucky, but it was back in the day when people weren't so apt to become makeup artists. It wasn't so trendy. So one of the managers had seen me and had faith in me that I could grow. Thank goodness, because I learned pretty much everything that I know through experience working with other makeup artists. I think that's the best way. People are so stuck now in saying like, are you self-taught or did you go to school? I wouldn't say I'm self-taught. I didn't go to school, but I mean, I learned from my peers. And I learned through practice and years. Like I started working for Mac in 2007, I believe. So I was 19. Yeah, 19. I'm 27 now. Oh my goodness. So I've been doing makeup almost, 8 years? I don't know, I can't think right now. I have a finance degree. You would think I could do math. Oh, excuse me, I got an email. Okay, what's next? Tell us about AmberMDean as a teen. Teen AmberMDean. I grew up in Oviedo, Florida, which is a suburb of Orlando. And what about me? I played lacrosse for like 2 years, but I didn't really like it. I'm not so sporty. I was really good at math in school, had some awesome friends, and I was super into, I like every kind of music, but at the time I was really into hip hop. I had a Honda Accord, which I got for my 16th birthday, that I had until I sold it when I left California. It was such a good car. But I had like speakers in the trunk, and like I had rims in the car. Like I was all about like making my car look cool. So I would just like save all my money and buy the most random stuff for my car, which is kind of funny because I got rid of all of it like a couple years later. So I guess that shows permanence of how important things are in your life. So yeah, I was super into hip hop music. You guys probably don't know this, but I can rap okay, so I already know like every word to every song. It's just a sickness in my head. Anyway, so as I was saying, I used to always go to this karaoke night in San Diego. All my San Diegan friends can tell you that for like every event, and every time I go back there, we go. And I would do karaoke for A Milli by Lil Wayne, and I know all the words, and I can just like smash that into the ground without looking at the screen. Something I'm proud of. A millionaire. What else? I'm gonna move on. I'm embarrassing myself now. How did I get started into makeup, and who inspired me, and what challenges did I face? So actually I got started in makeup. As I told you, I got hired working at MAC with no experience, and I always wanted to apply, but I was too afraid. And my uncle literally just like shoved me into the door and made me ask for an application and made me turn it in. Obviously I was super intimidated and I didn't know what I was doing, so I'm super thankful that he gave me that literal push. But that's how I got started, honestly. Besides that, just doing my own makeup, but I didn't know what I was doing. I had like a little brush set that my mom got me from Avon that I had for years, and that's what I had until I worked at MAC and like got the discount and was able to buy more quality items. And what challenges did I face? I don't know. I mean, the same kind of thing that everybody faces when they first start is working with different skin tones and skin types. I think that's one of the main things that you need to do. Also, learning how to tone down makeup if it's necessary, doing like a natural makeup, because it sounds weird, but dramatic makeup is much easier to execute than something that looks natural, because natural makeup, it's like putting makeup on that doesn't look like makeup. That's hard. When you put makeup on and it looks like makeup, like that's easy. That's makeup, but trying to make it not look like makeup, that's more difficult. So I think that's what really takes practice. Also, I remember the first time that I did my mom's makeup, I was surprised at how like the texture of her skin was different than mine, because I had never worked with a little bit more mature skin. Sorry, Mom. So I'm realizing that lots of these questions are about me as a makeup artist and about traveling. Someone asked me, if I wasn't a makeup artist, what would I love to work as? I wouldn't love to work as anything besides makeup artist unless it had to do with animals, because I love animals. My whole life I always had dogs growing up. I love dogs. I also love cats, and I love pretty much all animals. I wish I could have a dog right now. I had a cat in California, and whenever I left, I had to leave him to my friend. My plan was to come back, but I never went back, so I still don't have him. Little Jameson was his name. But I wish I could have a dog now. It's just a big responsibility. It's like having a kid, basically. But it loves you unconditionally, and that's what I want. I just love the animals. So I would say that. Okay. Pizza or hamburgers, someone asked. I'm actually a vegetarian. I'm not a vegan. I don't eat any meat. Like, I don't eat chicken. I don't eat beef. Like, no meat products. Recently I kind of stopped eating fish too. I was eating some tuna, but it just takes one thing to like gross me out. Like, it's all a mental thing for me. Yeah, I don't know. I just get so freaked out. So anyways, I'm a vegetarian, have been for I'm like 6 years or so now. So I would have to say pizza. Who doesn't love pizza? And if you don't love pizza, like, I don't think I can trust you. Oh, yeah, that's no. What else? Oh, okay, here's one. Where am I really from? So that's another long story. Always my whole life I've moved everywhere. So I was born in Ohio, in Zanesville, Ohio. I never really lived there though. My dad is from Ohio, so his family lived there, and he and my mom were there taking care of his father who was sick at the time. Then sometime around there, I'm so confused on this part, but I lived in New York, not the city, but somewhere in the country, for a few months. And then like really, really young, I moved to South Carolina in a place called Pumpkintown, South Carolina, until I was 7. And then I moved to Tennessee. I lived in Tennessee until I was 13, and I lived in like 5 different places, but they were all around Nashville, all suburbs, all tiny. Yes, I had an accent, and I sounded like this. My name was AmberMDean from Tennessee, but I kicked it because when I moved to Florida when I was 13, it's gone now. And we moved into Orlando until high school. I graduated high school from there. And then I moved to Tampa, Florida, which is where I went to college. And after I graduated from college, I moved to Southern California. I transferred with MAC over there. So I started working for MAC first in Tampa, and then I moved to Southern California, where I lived in 2 different places, in San Diego and then a suburb. Well, I don't know if you call it a suburb. It's like in between LA and San Diego, called Temecula. That's where I'm from. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of the dark? I'm afraid of the dark. I think I can make myself afraid of the dark. Like when you have to go to the bathroom but you can't see anything, and then you're like, oh my god, what if somebody's standing right in front of me? Oh my god. And you're like running to turn the light on. But I think that's only if I psych myself out. whenever I first lived by myself for the first time, when I lived in Temecula, like I told you guys, it's like in the middle of nowhere in California. I went to bed one time with the dryer on, and I knew that it was a dryer. Like, I knew that it was a dryer, but I was freaking myself out so much that, to me, first it sounded like somebody was walking through my kitchen. Like, I could like imagine like what they were doing in there. And then it sounded like they were getting closer to me and closer to me. I was so afraid that I had my phone in my hand. And I remember that I was like sitting here like this, just like freaking out, and I was gonna flip my phone around with the light to like see, and I was so sure that somebody was gonna be just like standing over me. Oh God, I was so scared. So after that, I stopped watching scary movies. Can I explain the hashtag Eat, Pray, Love Dough? And then there's other questions to follow that go along with it. So I'll explain the hashtag Eat, Pray, Love Dough. If any of you guys have followed me for like years now, you'll know, like I told you before, after I quit working for Mac, I came to Europe by myself. So I was talking with one of my best friends in San Diego, and we were saying kind of how I was doing like an Eat, Pray, Love adventure. And you know, it's just like Eat, Pray, Love Dough. So I started tagging all of my pictures from traveling Eat, Pray, Love Dough. Anytime, like when I first arrived to London, I went to Paris. Well, because this is going into her next question, which is how many countries and which countries have I visited, which is my favorite. So when I first started my travel, I arrived to London, which I thought would be the easiest place since it was English speaking, and I wasn't quite ready to like jump into someplace that they didn't speak English right away, especially since I was by myself. So I went to London, I was there for a few days, then I went to Paris, then I went to Amsterdam, I went to Brussels, and then I went to 4 places in Italy. I went to Milan, Rome, Venice, and Florence. Florence was my favorite. Love it. Then I went back to a couple of those countries again because I made some really good friends, which was really rad, through Instagram actually. A bunch of other Mac makeup artists mostly, because of course I was by myself. Like, my whole objective was to meet people, so I would go and meet whoever was down to meet me. I met amazing people. I have friends in so many different places, so I'm super thankful for that. Since then, I've also been to Prague. I've been to Berlin. I've been to, of course, Ireland. I go to Dublin all the time because since I have been traveling doing makeup classes, I started going to Dublin, and it's like probably, as you guys have noticed, one of my favorite places to go because number one, the people there are so awesome. You Irish girls and boys are awesome. So anywho, I'll move on. And someone else asked, why don't I have an accent? I think I do have an accent, American accent, and somewhat of I don't sound like I'm from New York, for example. I think I do. I have the vernacular of a California person, which I actually love teaching my man. Another question is, how long have I been with my man? I've been with my man since New Year's of 2014, I guess. And he is from, what is his ethnicity? He's from Tunisia, and the people in the UK say Tunisia, so let me make that distinction. It's in Northern Africa. So his native language, he speaks 5 languages actually, Emil. Smart man. Well, his native language is Arabic and French. So that's one reason I'm learning French, and I'm also learning Arabic at home. So I'm just like a big melting pot of languages in my brain right now. Let's see how that goes. What else? Okay. People want to know about tips for traveling. So especially in the United States, people see it as like this huge mountain that you have to climb to leave the country, like to go to another continent, whether it's Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, whatever. It seems like it's impossible, and it's really not. You just kind of have to minimize your thinking and just do it. Like, just make it happen. It's not that hard. And people always say, like, how did you afford that? I had savings. Obviously I sold everything I owned too. Like, I sold my car, my furniture, like I sold everything because I thought that I was going to be moving from California to New York when I went back to the United States. So like, rationally it makes more sense to sell everything and then just get new whatever you need, get new stuff when you get there. And let me tell you, it was so freeing getting rid of everything. I'm like a closet hoarder. I think my mom ingrained that in me, like keeping just random stuff. And I got rid of like little things, you know, something that you haven't worn in months, or like all those crappy clothes that we buy like from Forever 21 and H&M that cost you like, I don't know, $10 to $20, that you keep it and you're like, I'm gonna wear that, and then you don't, and it just clutters your life. Like I just got rid of clothes, and I got rid of everything. What was this question even about? I don't remember now. Oh, affording traveling. So it doesn't have to be expensive. One of my biggest things that I always use is Airbnb. It's a website where you can go and you can rent either rooms in someone's apartment. You can rent a whole apartment to stay in without anybody else. And it's much cheaper, especially if you're going to be away from home for a long time. It's nice because you have a kitchen and you have like much more of a space as opposed to just a hotel. I really like it. And something else as far as traveling goes, obviously I've been in Europe and I've traveled Europe a lot, so I'm going to talk about that. Going from the United States to Europe, the main cost that you're going to have is arriving to Europe. Once you get here, traveling within Europe is so cheap. I mean, they have these discount airlines that we don't have in the US, but they have really, really inexpensive flights to like from pretty much anywhere to anywhere. Like I found a couple weeks ago a flight from Barcelona to Rome. It was like 40 euros round trip. Like that's insane. That's like free. And you can also do couch surfing too if you're open to that. I did it a couple times. Basically, it's a website. You write reviews about people, so it's relatively safe, especially if you're with someone else. But you stay with people for free, so that's always an option too. My camera cut me off, guys. What the hell was I even talking about? Okay, let's go back. Someone asked, excuse me, what was it? Oh, someone asked, do I think working in retail is a good place to start as a makeup artist? And I was saying before my camera rudely cut me off because I was so long-winded, that I think that working for a cosmetics company in a retail setting, for example, working at MAC, like I started with MAC, I think that taught me obviously everything that I know about makeup, but what it gives you is the experience with working with many different types of people, with different types of skin tones, with different types of ages, with colors, with preferences, with everything, because on a day-to-day basis, like people are going to walk in, like you can't choose who's going to walk into the store, you know what I mean? So like if you have to, for your first appointment, you're doing a 13-year-old girl for her dance recital, and then the next person you're doing a 75-year-old woman for her 50th anniversary, and then the next person you're doing a bride, and the next person you're doing like a pumpkin mask. I don't know. Like you're always changing what you're doing, and I think that's something that makes an amazing makeup artist is diversity, and also being in the industry, like working with others who have like similar interests and who are also motivated, and they can inspire you and they can teach you. I think that's amazing. As far as nowadays, when I first started working for MAC, it was very different. Everything is much more retail driven now, and sometimes it takes away from the artistry and the possibilities to learn. Sometimes you're so focused on just selling that you don't get to focus on the artistry or watching others and observing and really taking in what's going on. So I think it's what you make it. If you really like teaching people, then teach people. If you really like selling to people, then sell to people. If you really like doing makeup, then see how you can do makeup. Obviously you still have to sell, so find the balance there. But I think any experience you have is a good thing. You can't really say it's bad, and even if it's a bad experience, you learn from it, right? So that's it. Anyways, I think I'm gonna stop now because the questions are pretty much done, and I've just blabbed. I'm gonna have to edit this video to the max because I personally hate long videos. I will never watch them. So, I don't know. If there's anything else you guys want to know, ask me in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry if this was super duper long for you, and sorry if it was boring or if I sound like an idiot. But I don't know, I thought it would be fun to do a Q&A so you could see who I am and stuff. Anyways. See you later, booze.